What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. So, something happened over the last couple of days that went right past me. I had no idea it happened, but I just got wind of it today, so I wanted to definitely talk about it and give my opinion on it. So, during a Chicago Bulls game against the Golden State Warriors, there was a halftime ceremony to honor the organization's greats, not just players, but people within the organization. So amongst those greats that were recognized, so was the general manager during the Bulls dynasty, Jerry Krause, who was one of 13 members in the class of what this was called the Bulls Ring of Honor, and was recognized and honored for his architectural efforts of the Bulls dynasty. Now, for those of you that don't know, Jerry Krause died about 6 years ago, and at the ceremony, he was represented by his now widow. I believe her name was Thelma, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Now, with the introduction of Jerry Krause, the Chicago Bulls arena erupted in boos in their disdain and maybe, for lack of a better word, or maybe not for lack of a better word, hatred towards Jerry Krause. His wife, as anyone could imagine, was brought to tears and sadness at the response from the Chicago Bulls faithfuls in the arena. I can only imagine how heartbroken this woman was. Now, to be honest, I read about it, but I had not seen the video. So right now, if you haven't seen the video, you can watch it with me. Let's get into it.
Six-time NBA champion, two-time NBA Executive of the Year, represented by his wife Thelma, Basketball Hall of Famer and former Bulls General Manager Jerry Krause.
I'm a little upset right now.
Yep.
Nationwide is on your side, Bulls Nation. We just had a remarkable ceremony bringing back the legends, and I'm telling you what, Chicago is a sports town. And what we witnessed today when Jerry Krause's name was called and the people that booed Jerry Krause and his widow who was accepting this honor for him, it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I hurt for that lady, brought her to tears, and whoever booed her in this arena should be ashamed of themselves. That's not Chicago. That's New York, Philly. Chicago's not like that. We don't have a reputation of being that way. And whether you like Jerry Krause or not, that man brought 6 championships here. He didn't shoot a basket, nor did he get a rebound, but he put 6 titles up in this ring. There's a lot of teams don't even have one. And that was really classless. And I was disappointed in the people that booed. It was the same.
Yeah. She was obviously upset and hurt by the responses. Looks like there was a mix of boos and with, some, applause and general crowd noise. But she was definitely broke that woman's heart. I feel bad for her. Now, I'll say this. I do not think the response would have been as toxic had the Last Dance documentary not dropped, where in that documentary, Jerry Krause was seemingly demonized, in all truthfulness, about how everything went down with the mismanagement of that franchise. And to be fair, also in that documentary, if my memory serves me correctly, that he was also praised for his great management decisions as well. But there was definitely an emphasis on his mismanagement. I can definitely say that. But we as fans and consumers
of course, are going to respond on the obvious things and the decisions that were made that hampered the potential of the Bulls dynasty being extended past 1998. I know many fans outside of Illinois didn't know much of anything about Jerry Krause prior to The Last Dance, and even avid fans that were in Chicago during the Bulls dynasty probably did not know the full extent of the Jerry Krause drama with the Bulls organization. And the response likely would not have been as volatile if all those details weren't revealed during the docuseries. Now, I'm not necessarily casting blame on the docuseries, but just saying it's the reality of the situation. The documentary was just telling a story of historical events, and like I said, I don't think a lot of people realize the full extent of what was going on in that organization with Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause and them boys. I consider myself a pretty even-keeled kind of guy for the most part, and when I go into most situations, I really like to try to see both sides of the coin. So definitely my human side, definitely, absolutely, I feel for this woman. That was sad. Considering she probably knew this guy, Jerry Krause, knew him better than anyone. So she isn't just looking at this from a business, sports perspective, but who the man was inside, the person, as her husband. A side that she is emotionally bonded to. Given that, this lady's probably, I don't know her age, but she's probably 80 years old. She looks about 80. And she probably isn't very much in tune, if at all, with social media and all the sports talk that goes around. So she probably had no idea, or at least have a full understanding of the general perception of Jerry Krause after that documentary dropped. Now, she probably didn't have a full grasp of how much people really don't like this guy after that documentary dropped. And for that reason, I feel like she walked into a landmine that everybody knew was planted except her. So even though she may not have been oblivious to her husband's legacy, like I said, she just might not have a full understanding of the magnitude of the hate. That's what I assume. I obviously don't know for sure. That's just me trying to look at this from one particular logical angle. My human side, like I said, definitely feels for this woman. Feels for her. No question about that. Something like this is very, 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 very sad to see and quite disheartening on top of that. Now, the other side of me is looking at it from the sports world perspective. I guess a side, a fraction of the sports world perspective, because there is a part of the sports world that is a bit more classy and would carry themselves with more class and understanding. All right, now, when you dive into the shoes of a sports fan, or definitely a mega fan at that, certain kinds of them, right? I don't mean to put a blanket over it. There are emotions and feelings, obviously, but a large group of these sports fans have these emotions and these feelings, but they don't give a damn about anyone else's. You will get buried. There is no love lost. Venom will be spewed, and you will get punched in the face with full-blown fire. And people will tell you how they really feel about said player or said member of an organization. You know what I mean? They will hold back nothing. They obviously don't care if someone passed away. And they obviously don't care if there's a ceremonial event to pay homage. And a seemingly sweet old lady who has much of nothing to do with the events that happened with the Bulls outside of supporting her husband. And she's there to accept the honors for her late, great love. Avid sports fans will toss her in the lake, as we see them do, for her husband's actions. Many fans have never forgave Jerry Krause for intentionally breaking up a dynasty. He had his issues with Phil Jackson, felt like Phil Jackson was getting more credit than he deserved, wanted to prove that they can do what they do without Phil Jackson. And he made his move. And obviously, he had to take that one to the grave with him. His death will not change how fans feel about that. Sure, they could look at it like, well, even though he broke up a dynasty, he still made all the right moves with the team to put them in a position to be a dynasty, to win 6 rings in a decade, 2 three-peats. Surely, that accounts for something, right? Wrong. Not in the eyes of many fans, because they are looking at what could have been. And selfishness. And egos. And feelings getting in the way of making logical decisions. Logical professional decisions when it comes to winning basketball and winning championships. Fans are irate still. The Bulls weren't knocked off their throne. Nobody took them down. They did not leave or disappear by being slain by the sword of another team. They were broken up, stemming from the decision of one Jerry Krause. And then the domino effect ensued based on the decision alone to part ways with Phil Jackson. And there were some other things Jerry Krause had a problem with players as well, but Phil was the main thing. And this has nothing to do with the subject, but even when Phil was coaching with the Lakers, he actually wanted to patch things up with Jerry. And he reached out to Jerry Reinsdorf. Not Jerry Reinsdorf. He reached out to Reinsdorf. Wait, what's his name? Jerry Reinsdorf? Well, he reached out to Reinsdorf. And to kind of be, like the middleman and set it up. And so Phil extended the olive branch, but Jerry wanted nothing to do with it. Welcome to the world of sports. The fans have a right to boo because they feel they have suffered too. It's definitely sad and unfortunate that we got to see it in circumstances like this. And she stepped into an environment that just kind of, goes about it their own way and by their rules. It's sad. And I definitely wish that didn't happen. That's looking at it from both sides, from the people that booed and from, I guess, the opposite, anyone opposite of that, pretty much. If I was in that arena, I absolutely would not have booed. Absolutely. Even if I didn't think that highly of Krause at all, I can understand that his widow is here to accept something on his behalf. And she has a human side too. And she's there out of support and love for her deceased husband. Me booing this woman does nothing but hurt her for something that she has little to nothing to do with. I guess this is kind of an example by guilty by association. And in my eyes, she's just kind of like a innocent bystander that got caught up in some collateral damage, honestly. As much as I did not like David Stern after nixing the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers to join Kobe Bryant, a deal that we all thought was done. He reversed the trade. I would not have booed that man if he was getting honored for his accomplishments. I wouldn't have. And I couldn't stand Commissioner David Stern after reversing that trade. As a diehard Lakers fan, that would have been Kobe's best chance at getting a 6th championship. Bring another one to the purple and gold. Like I said, did Krause really F up how everything ended? Yeah. Yeah, he did. Did Krause also help bring 6 championships in a decade to the organization? Yeah, he did. And this is something else people don't talk about that he should get credit for. Also, maintaining and having a core together during Michael Jordan's hiatus into the world of baseball. So when he did come back, Michael Jordan had something to come back to. And they did this without even knowing that Michael Jordan would ever come back. Something should be said for that. Absolutely. Not everybody's career is going to be perfect, and there's going to be major F-ups along the way, but the man did have a lot of success at his position, and I feel like he should be congratulated and acknowledged for that. At least that's how I view the situation. That's my opinion. If Krause was there himself, if he was still alive, accepting this award, well, that changes the situation a little bit. But this woman was getting hit with strays that she probably didn't deserve, man. She ain't deserved those. She was getting hit with them. Ultimately, if you did not feel the need to applaud and cheer for him with his wife accepting the award, you could have just maintained silence. And really, silence can be deafening in itself in sending a message, to be honest. But hearing the boos, of course, was very, 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 very disheartening for her. Ultimately, this is just the reality of the situation and the belly of the beast to some extent. Unfortunately, she was a target by association, and at the end of the day, fans will boo when they want. As tasteless and classless as it may be, or as some people perceive it to be, I don't think this would be as much of an issue as it is now if she was not there representing this man and the arena response was the same. But very, very, very sad. And, he did, it wasn't even that long ago when he died. He died in 2017. So you can understand how still, fresh this feels to her. Like she could very well still be in a mourning phase with that. I don't know how long they were married, but regardless, not that much time has passed, especially if they had a long tenured marriage together, man. It's like throwing salt on an open wound. But, what do I know? What do I know? That's my opinion on it. Let me know what you think about it. Do you agree? Do you disagree with anything I said? Sound off in the comment section. Do you feel it was classless for those that booed in the arena? And not everybody booed in the arena. Or do you feel like, F it, this is about the fans, we're still hurt. You weren't in Chicago during that time, you can never understand. Everybody getting caught with strays, everybody catching fire. Let me know how you feel about it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Check out our 90s Chicago Bulls playlist. Check out our Michael Jordan playlist. And I appreciate y'all for stepping in, all right? We out, baby.